Good morning. Welcome back to the farm here. Hopefully a good, productive, busy week coming, but we will see. So today's project is to get that final drive on the combine fixed. I've got a seal ordered. It's up at the dealer. We're going to go pick that up here later today. Brock will be here in a while. We're going to take off those tires, the duals, to be able to get at that final drive a little bit better. We've got to drain the oil out of it. There's a cover on the back side, like inside the rim, that we might have to take off to pull a shaft out to be able to get to it a little bit better. I don't know. We're going to kind of feel it out as we go here a little bit, but I don't think it's too big of a project for me. We're going to try and tackle it ourselves today and see how it goes. So, but it is January now. It is winter meeting season. We've got lots of different things going on right now that we're trying to do in the planning for next year. I've got 2 meetings already scheduled for this morning, so I've got to kind of work around those with shop work and everything else, but we'll get something done today. Meeting number 1 out of the way. We'll get to more of that in a minute here, but let's get started on this. So we have got to pull the duals off of here. So here's what we're working on in case you missed the last week's videos. Basically, we've got a leak. Turn my light on. You can see the oil leaking down that tire there. It is coming out of that seal, kind of right back there where this drive shaft input is. So these spacers come off pretty easily. We can take this little piece out, but that final drive, that big gearbox inside the tire there, is full of oil. There's a bunch, well, it used to be full of oil. It's all leaking out, but we've got to drain it. The drain plug is on the bottom right there. Could be pulled out, but it's going to leak all over that tire and be very difficult to catch. So we're going to go ahead and pull the tires just to give us more room to work in here anyway, because it's going to be really difficult to get to that seal with the tire in place and everything anyway. And if we need to pull that shaft out, I'm pretty sure it has to come out the other side, and we just can't get to it from here. So there's a point right here to lift from. We're going to get a couple blocks, a big bottle jack, lift this corner of the combine up. We've got our forklift positioned in here. We've got our overhead hoist that we can use to help move these tires out of the way. I don't think it will be too difficult. We'll get our inch impact out, and we should be able to get those tires off relatively smoothly, but we'll see. And Brock should be here any minute. That's a lot of weight. About off the ground. Huh? Okay. All right, we're going to need our inch impact. 30 millimeter, 36 millimeter, 33 millimeter, something along those lines. All right, so on this combine and the newer ones now, all of the bolts go all the way through both rims, both tires on the duals. It didn't used to be that way. There used to be 10 bolts that held the inside tire on, the spacer, and then 10 bolts that held the outside tire to the spacer kind of thing. The problem was the inside bolts that were covered up were loosening and they were cracking rims and it was causing problems. So they redesigned it and they have this design now. Problem is, if I take all those bolts out, both tires come loose at the same time. We do not want that. And so they have one of these, they have all these spacers on, these 4-hole, 5 spacers. One of them has a big hole. And so you put the bolt back in there, tighten that back up, and it allows it to hold the inside tire in place as we loosen the other ones up. You can kind of see it here. You take 4 bolts out, put the 1 bolt back in through the larger hole, and then you'll have 5 of them that are still there holding the inside tire while you take the dual off. So, we just gotta make sure we do this in the right order. Okay, kind of. So the bigger hole there is not big enough for those bolts, so I had to go look in the parts bin and remember seeing this bag of these bolts. That's what those are for. So we gotta thread these in, and Brock's trying to find me an Allen wrench big enough to fit the heads on those. Come on. So that we can tighten them up a little bit at least. Come on. All right, we've got our overhead crane hooked up to the tire here, so that'll hopefully hold it in place. We'll pull that last set of bolts out there. I've got the forklift position. I'm gonna widen these forks out so we can just grab it real quick with the forklift here and back it out of the way. Well, that didn't work too bad. Now what do we do with it? I think we just back it out of here and get our hoist on this front one, and then don't worry about, we'll just use the crane to move it out of the way. All right, the shield is gonna be in the way of our strap. We can't get the strap on there without breaking that shield or lift on it. So we're gonna set this tire down. So we're gonna put the hoist on it and set it down here on the ground on a block flat. And then we can use the forklift to get that one out of there. Should work better. All right, well, we didn't have to actually lay that one down. We grabbed that one with the forklift. A little bit of a challenge. That valve stem sticking up on the bottom was gonna catch. Hey, Brock. We're gonna have to take the tires off the other side now just to clean the dirt off of them. Yeah, there's a breather here. This might be part of our, oh no, that's the grease zerk. That's the grease zerk. We did grease that. There's a breather somewhere. So that's probably this. That's pretty clean, actually. That's not so bad. We'll clean that out. We'll clean this all up real good. This cover here is the cover that we might have to take off if we need to pull that shaft out. But we disconnected the drive line so that we could rotate stuff. And right there is our seal that we're trying to get to. The bearings feel good. So if that shaft has to come out, we got to take this cover off and push it out that way. All right, well, I got another meeting here in a few minutes. Brock's first thing we're gonna do is get some blocking in here. We're gonna block up this and make sure everything's a little bit safer to work on here. And then we're gonna clean all of this up good, and then we gotta drain it. So he's gonna work on all of that here while I'm busy. All right. Got her cleaned up and drained while I was on my other meeting. Got some blocking. Good deal. We got to go run to the dealer and get our seal. And I'm going to ask the tech what the best way to do this is. I could probably try and break this seal out around that shaft and just pull it off and push the new one on. I don't know that that's the best way to do it. I think we might want to pull that out of there. The problem is there's bearings and stuff in there as well. So once we take that apart, then we got to deal with all the bearings and everything else. So just a little guidance would be helpful. That piece right there, and they wouldn't even give me a discount because it's used. No, it's not really used, but it's an open package, and I think that's worth at least a 50% discount. Come on. Shall we see what's sitting on the lot? We got a couple gators, small tractors, some round balers, mowers, grain cart down there. Brock, you need a hay bind?
I know.
That's just a baby one. It'll be perfect for your 5 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what's for sale and what's being worked on here, but there's a nice loader tractor. Can't read the numbers. And there's a Haggy. I think that's been sitting there for a while. What is it? Oh, it's SDS20. Holy crap, that's a huge Haggy. Dang. That's a 2,000 gallon tank on that one. Got some old anhydrous applicators, crappy discs, crappy old planters. Got a combine and a draper and a round baler in the barn. An old chopper head, an old corn head, an older corn head, and some old grain carts and crappy equipment. A couple of old bean heads. Not much good out here. The loader tractor is a 6155R. That'd be a really nice size tractor for us. Replace our 7520. Oh well. Some other stuff here. A couple different flavors of red. That one's pretty new. To be sitting on a John Deere lot. Somebody didn't like it. Old case. Old 8770. 8130 and 8200. Both of those are nice tractors. And there's the combines, and there's an old 640 RX over there, or RX 640. That one may or may not have been to our farm once. Some combines. That's about it. Oh, there's a few tractors over here on the other side. We got a 4650, and we got an 8R 370. Nice. Also, talked to the service manager, and we can, in fact, change the seal without actually taking that stub shaft out. He's like, well, you didn't really have to take the tires off. I'm like, yeah, but you know how hard it is to work in there without taking the tires off, and you got to drain the oil out of it, and that would have made a mess, and it's just easier to take the tires off. And so we did. But yeah, we can pull that shaft into that old seal out. We're going to destroy it getting out of there. We'll get the shaft cleaned up really, really good, and we can press the new one on around it, and it shouldn't be too hard to do. All right, well, how are we gonna do this? So we don't have to take the shaft out, so we just gotta get this seal out of there. We're gonna need some punches or something, and we're just gonna stab them in there and pry it out, I think. Moving. It's moving the wrong way. There we go. It's not optional anymore.
We are replacing it. Bigger punch?
Yeah.
You won't like that though?
Huh?
You won't like that? The paper's off?
I don't know. I don't know what I want.
Pointier one?
This one will punch a hole better.
That is very true.
Like that.
You want a screwdriver then?
Hold on. Got it.
Let me see that. I'm gonna find a pipe that is like exactly
See what you can find. Do some more cleaning here. We gotta get that spring out of there. Okay. You can see the bearing in behind there. All that gets filled with oil, so oops, not too worried about it right now. Ugh. Get the light up here so I can see. So now we just gotta get the new one pressed in there without damaging it. That's the tricky part. And I want to make sure that this surface is nice and clean. Alright, I got some memory cloth. We got that cleaned up really well. Sprayed it out. I think we're good, ready for our new seal. Sorry, I already pushed it on there without filming it for you guys. Can you hold that on there? That's pretty close. It wasn't pushed all the way in because I was able to push it in when I was breaking that old one out, so I think we're pretty good there. Okay. Put oil back in it. Oh, this is a painfully slow process because gear oil is thick. 80-90 weight gear lube, and yeah, it's gonna take a little while because we got to get a little over 6 gallons in there actually, and it moves slow. It would help if we heated it, but I'm not doing that. I don't have any real good way to do that. We've got the fill plug is here actually, but we're putting it in up at the top because, well, it's just easier. And when it starts running out that hole, we'll know it's full. But yeah, I've got a hand pump. It's not great. It leaks for these 5-gallon buckets. Anybody got a good pump for thick oil for 5-gallon buckets that would make this easier? Anybody? All right, well, we got our oil back in there. Took a while, but we got it. And got the plugs put back in. We're just about ready for tires to go back on, but we're going to clean up the splines on these drive shafts, put some never sees on them before we put those back together. Well, we've still got access in there, and then we'll get the tires on. All right, we've got stuff cleaned up here. I think we are ready for that tire. These tires look much bigger when they're not on the combine. Like, they're freaking huge and heavy. We should clean this up a little bit here, Brock. We got oil all over that rim from it leaking. Let's clean that up before we put it on. All right, well, we got that one on. We just used these temporary bolts just to kind of hold it in place while we get that one in. It's not so bad, actually. That's not so bad. We should clean this rim up too, Brock. Gosh, dang. It's almost impossible to get in there and get to that dirt when the duals are together. I'm sure this side is bad too. Yeah, you can't get in there, so we'll clean them up here. Okay, we got the dual in place. These little temporary bolts also kind of work as alignment pins. Help you get everything lined up and in the right spot. And all the bolts are numbered, so we're trying to put them back in the same spot. There's the numbering guide right there. It's the numbers on which number you're supposed to tighten them in, like in order. But yeah, might as well put them back where they go. And I'm just kind of snugging up a couple of them on each one just to hold them in place while we take the black ones out. All right, they're all snug. I'm gonna hit them again with the impact, and then we're gonna use the torque wrench and actually torque them. Get our strap out of the way here. What? You're gonna just have to use this. Okay. Come on, muscles. There you go. It's not ideal having all those extensions, but not much we can do about it. Okay, they were all tight. Whew. All right, well, we'll put that last drive shaft on, get her off her jacks here, and we're good to go. All right, we got this shaft in. These things are pretty simple. I'll show you how this works real quick before I put that together. But essentially, there's a snap ring here. Get enough light, you can see this. Essentially, there's a snap ring here, holds this cover in place, which holds this pin. This pin slides in down in there, and see, without that in, I can slide those around. You put this pin in place, and it holds them drive shafts apart and tight. Oh, where'd it go? Holds them drive shafts apart so that everything stays tight. That cover just holds it, snapped it in there. This is just an extension because of this extension here for the duals, and that's how that all works. And it works pretty well, actually. Yeah, snap ring on and we're done. All right, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Got a few shields to throw back on this side here that we couldn't do or weren't going to do with taking those tires off, so we could work in there. So we'll get those on, and then the combine can leave. We figure out where we're going to put it and what's coming in next, and I need to write down in the book what all we did, and then we can put the book back in there and be done. Always a challenge trying to remember everything that we did, but I think I've got it all written down. You know, changing all the oil and filters. We changed those wear plates on inside of the rotor. I put the different wind board in. We put a original round bar concave in. We did that final drive seal and new oil in that one. Probably should change the oil in this side, but not going to. It'll probably get done next year. I think that's most of it. The new chains, you know, just trying to remember everything. So I think we got it. I was just getting ready to take this out of here, and then I got in the cab and I looked at the windows. I'm like, no, this can't leave looking like this. The windows are filthy. We gotta clean them. Ew. That's from the inside. That's from the inside of the front windshield. Goodness. We need a home for our combine. Hopefully in the clean equipment storage shed. It's full of dirty equipment. Not much room out here. I got some in this back corner here, but 3 tractors would have to come out to get it there, or 2 tractors and a sprayer. Chances of them all starting is relatively low. Let's see what happens. See if that tractor will start, Brock. That one or that one, kind of the next targets. The E430 wouldn't have to move. Doesn't mean it's going to start. Oh yeah, that's going to start. Alright. It's a little cold. Alright. Well, let's see if this one will start. This one I pulled the disconnect on the last time we had it out because it wouldn't start. For that, so let's see. Try this one. Light came on, so that's good. Good sign. Maybe? Negative. She was close. Alright. Hit that disconnect. Close that and hit the disconnect. We're going to go search next door. Maybe we'll just get the 8430 out. Forget about these other ones coming out. Oh, no, there's a battery charger right here. It's right there. This should go. Okay. Let that warm up for a second. Alright, last one. Let's see if the sprayer will start. This one we don't usually have problems with, which probably now means we will have problems with. She's trying. Beautiful. As much of a cold start as we get, unless we get to 4440. He was iffy, but it went. Okay, we're gonna move all three of these out. We're gonna put the combine in this corner. We're gonna put that tractor in the shop, and then the other two can come back in. Always fun playing tractor Tetris. We'll talk to him for a second. What time do you gotta go? Is it 4 o'clock? Is it 4 o'clock now? 4:02, yeah. You want to drop the oil in this? Take it somewhere and rev it up, let it warm up. Do I need to stage it outside and take some shiny pictures of it in the snow? I don't have any sun today, so it's not shiny from the sun. It should probably just show off all the not clean spots, so it's okay, but nah, it's alright. I'm just gonna throw it in the barn. Hit the battery disconnect, wake it up at the end of June. It's good to me. Shut her down. Alright. Hit the battery disconnect. Wait for it to stop pumping. It's evacuates the DEF lines, the DEF lines, so that they don't freeze. So you gotta wait for that to finish before you kill the battery. We're gonna see if we can fit the sprayer in that little gap there. It might work. A little tight squeeze. We made her fit. I figured we'd be over top of them a little bit, but good enough. Yeah, nice. Okay, big tractor can come back in here. I'll let you get that one. Try and get it in far enough we can get the 8430 out without having to move it. That big tractor needs to get brought back into the shop here, or brought into the shop and serviced just like everything else. But we're still having those exhaust issues with it, and the dealer's still working on it. They haven't forgot about it. Talked to them about it yesterday. But I have a feeling that we're going to pull the off, the exhaust filter on there, particulate filter, take it and get it cleaned. And it might be in the shop for a while, so I don't want to do that one first because I don't want to tie up my shop while I got time to work on other stuff. Good enough. Let's hit the disconnect on this one too. All right, well, that one will be next. I haven't looked in this other barn for a while. I hear we've got something new back here. You guys want to check it out? And by we, I mean Dad. Dad has something new. Piles of lumber. He's got new piles of lumber. That's what he's got. He told me he was back here organizing by intended use. He's sorting everything by what its intended purpose is. So I don't know what anything is, but we got a pile, another pile, another pile, more piles, big piles, and oh, what's this? New sawmill. Dad bought himself a new sawmill. He needed an upgrade, so he found this one on Facebook Marketplace and thinks he got a deal on it. Maybe he did. I don't know. It's a Norwood, bigger than his old one. Not quite as long, but bigger. On a trailer. Had some kind of log turner thing, something on it. I thought he said, I don't know. Bigger motor, bigger band, bigger cut width. He was excited about it, so good for him. I'm sure at some point here we'll see it run. There's probably a Woodland Mills saw for sale here relatively soon if anybody's interested. I'm not really the one selling it, but it's an HM126 Woodland Mills. It's been a good saw. Dad's cut lots and lots of lumber with it, so if anybody needs one, let me know. I'll pass it along. While we're in the selling mood, we finally got our other truck up here. The old Columbia. It was down to Berkey. We got it here, and it's going to get sold. So I don't know if we're quite ready yet, but Phil's got to be close. I don't know what he wants for it. I know a couple of you guys have expressed some interest in it. I'll let you know for sure, but pretty soon we're going to be wanting to move that. So yeah, it's a nice truck. It's been a good one. All right, Brock's going to bring our tractor in. Floor's not in too bad a shape. We had it cleaned up not too long ago. And we'll get the oil dropped out of this. Start the service process. We won't get it done today, but he can work on it a little bit. whatever. Back in if he wants. All right, well, we've got to change engine oil, fuel filters, air filters, all the normal service stuff. We'll have to look in the book and see. I don't think it's a hydraulic oil service here, but it could be. Are we 5,000 hours? 4,000 hours. Something. We're at some thousand hours. Maybe it's 4,500 and that's a 1,500 oil change interval. I don't know. Yeah, let's see what we put on it for the year. And get it cleaned up. In theory, this is a 2 or 3 day project. In practice, it's at least a week process. But, you know, this is what it is. 49.42 hours on this tractor. We were at 45.15 last year, so it's a little over 400. That's good. It's a good amount of hours put on a tractor. All right, Brock's gotten started with some of the service work here on this tractor. We got the oil draining. He's changing fuel filters right now. And, yeah, we'll just do what we got to do here. It's 5 o'clock, though, so I'm going home pretty quick. We're just going to let that drain overnight. We'll worry about putting oil in it tomorrow. I was trying to figure out what all we need to do to this tractor, or just thinking about stuff. And one of the things that I wanted to do to it this winter is swap some lights out. So we have this issue with this tractor. For the most part, it runs really good. However, when you're running along, planting at night or spreading fertilizer, it starts to get dark out and you go to turn the lights on and you hit that switch and it kicks all of the lights on, all of the halogen lights, the LED, or not LED, the HID lights, and the amp draw kind of taxes the tractor just a little bit more than what it needs to be taxed. Maybe our alternator's getting a little weak. Maybe I should put a new alternator on. But it kind of kills the tractor. Like, it's still running, but it goes into park and it starts throwing all kinds of computer issues. And basically you short the computers some voltage and they don't like it. And so they kind of shut down and think, something's wrong here. This is a problem. And so my solution to that is swapping the lights out. Like I said, it could be an alternator issue. I don't know. Maybe there's a way I can test that. But if we put LED lights in and take the halogen lights out, and especially those HID, high intensity discharge lights that have huge amp draws with LEDs that have very low amp draws, well, that should fix our problem, right? I think that'll fix our problem. And it'll give us better lights. Now, the HIDs on this tractor are pretty good. The lights are not bad on this tractor. But I think LEDs would be better. So I am trying to find a light kit or something. Nobody seems to sell a kit for this series of tractors. But you can buy all the individual lights and components. And I'm trying to figure out where the best place to do that is, what the best deal is. If anybody's got any suggestions, let me know. But like, we've got those pedestal mount lights there. We've got the oval ones that kind of hang in the front up there. We've got the ones that click right into the housing up there and there and there. And then we've got the HIDs here that we can put LEDs on. So it looks like there is 1, 2, 3, 4 different kinds of lights just on the cab, not including the warning lights. And then we've got these ones in the front. Deere sells this whole housing mount thing with 3 LEDs already in it, but it's like $1,500 for each side. $1,500 for one, $1,600 for the other. So yeah, that's pretty pricey. I know we can buy individual bulbs and just pull the little bulbs out of there and use the same housing from some other places quite a bit cheaper. So trying to figure out what the best way to do that is. But I thought I could upgrade the lights on here for less than, $5,000. By the time you buy them from Deere, it'd be pretty pricey. Oh, it's all confusing, I tell you. I found some few kits. There's a couple companies that I was aware of. Larson Lights is one of them. Tiger Lights is another. The Tiger Lights doesn't really have a kit, but you can kind of go through and piece it together. The Larson Lights, they actually have 2 separate kits, and I don't know what the difference between the Larson kit and the, what was the other one called? Thomas kit, I think, or something. I don't really know. But they seem like decent quality ones, so I might just give them a call tomorrow. If any of you have any experience, let me know in the comments. Anyway, thanks for watching this one. Have a great night. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And I will see you guys in the morning. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me out. If you need some merch yet, head on over to farmfocus.com or link in the description. Grab yourself some Borderview Farms merch. See you guys.